Hi team, Danielle here. So in Filevine, you can have a default folder structure. In every project, you can create new folders. These folders are done on a case-by-case basis. So if I were to create a new folder here, this would only apply for this project. No other projects, even if on this template, would have this folder. But you can set a default folder structure on the back end so that every new project within this template or project type will automatically have a set of folders when the project is created. To do so, you would go into your advanced menu and go over to Customs Editor. Select your org if you have multiple, and then select your project type if you have multiple. As you can see, we have a ton here at Find Skills. I'm going to use this one as an example. So in Customs Editor, you have 4 tabs. One of them is your folders. It's going to look like this until you create a default folder structure. A couple of things to keep in mind when you create your folder structure or tree or set of folders, whatever you want to refer to it as, it is going to affect all projects created from here on out. It is not retroactive, so any projects created previously will have the folder structure that was in place at the time that they were created, and if one wasn't, then it would look similar to this without any folders in it except for the one that we just created. So to create your folder structure, you're just going to hit that, and then it's automatically going to highlight this first line here, which is the name of the project. And this field selector is actually for the name of the project. So if we're looking in our Jimi Hendrix project over here, you'll see it starts off with your org name. This is the pathway of your folder tree, and then it's the name of the actual project. So this here is generated by this field selector here. So to create your folders, you're just going to make sure this is highlighted. You can update this if you want to. You can change this to say something else. And then you're just going to go ahead and add your folders. So I'm just going to add a few. Fine for the purpose of this demo. So we have a set of folders. Now these are our parent folders, so this is what we're going to see once we hit save. But we can also create subfolders and subfolders within those subfolders. So I'm going to go ahead and just show you how to do that. In order to create subfolders, you're going to just select the parent folder of the subfolder. So let's do this. Let's do client, insurance, and we'll just do that. Then maybe in medicals, I want a medical requests or medical records. Maybe I want bills. Maybe I want summaries. Maybe in discovery, you're just gonna again highlight it. We can do these are just some examples. And I think you kind of get the point. And then again, if I wanted to create another main folder, we can do that just by selecting our main parent folder, which is the name of our project. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save, and then that will save your expenses. One thing to keep in mind also, your folder structure when creating it will list it in the way that you have created the folders. But once you hit save and this folder structure is shown in a project, it will only be in alphabetical order, or you can also use the most recent button here to either show most recent to the oldest or the oldest to the newest. Okay. In addition to that, you can make some folders protected if you wanted to. So if you only wanted people with permissions to see those protected folders, you can mark a folder protected here, and then it will kind of work with any permissions you have for individuals in your team setup. And then finally, you have some replacement fields. So these codes here you can use to name your folders. So if I wanted a folder with the client's last name, and I wanted it to be a main one, and then I could just I'll copy and paste that in. Let's say client's names, photos. This really doesn't make sense, but just kind of show you how it works. So what will happen is any project that for every project this is created in, this will be replaced with the client's last name, and then it will show photos. And then at the end of it all, I can just go ahead and hit save. And now if I were to create a new project in my, I think it might be up here. Maybe not. Hang on. Here we go. And we'll do Janis Joplin. Or let's use Penny. I'm going to go ahead and hit create. And now this project should have our folder structure that we just placed. You'll see here some of these are hollow and some of these are solid. What that means is the hollow ones have no folders or documents within them, while the solid ones have either folders or documents within them or files within them. Just so you know what that means. And then also you can see here, Lane Photos. It pulled in her last name here, and the rest of that is photos. So that worked accordingly. But that is kind of how you set up your default folder structure. If I were to go in and update my folder structure now again on the back end in our advanced menu and hit save, that would not affect our folder structure here in this project. It will only affect the folder structure on any projects that are created from this point forward. So, but again, also in your projects, I can go ahead if I wanted to go into depositions and create a folder within depositions for this case specifically. I can go ahead and hit new folder here. And then these folders will only live in this project here. All right, I hope you found this helpful.